Hello, welcome to my channel. It's called Linasa. In this channel, we talk about the teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn. She was a spiritual teacher, a metaphysical teacher who worked 100 years ago. If you like Gabby Bernstein and Eckhart Tolle and Rhonda Byrne and The Secret and all that stuff, you'll love her because she was one of the all-time greats. It's a pleasure to still study her ideas because they still work. And today, I wanted to go to her classic book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, and go to chapter 2, because I do read past chapter 1. There's so much in chapter 1, I could dedicate the whole channel to it, but let's go to chapter 2. The law of prosperity. Isn't that cool to know that prosperity is law? Scarcity. We think scarcity is law. But tip from Florence, prosperity is law. So what I like about this chapter, and I'll bring to you, try to be more focused in my last video, is that Florence says one of the great messages given to the race, to humanity, through the scriptures is that God is man's supply, and man can release through his spoken word all that belongs to him by divine right. He must, however, have perfect faith in his spoken word. The prophet Isaiah said, "My word shall not return to me void, but shall accomplish that whereunto it is sent." We now know that words have tremendous vibratory force, ever molding man's body and affairs. And a woman came to Florence in distress and said that it's gonna go down at the end of the month and she needs $3,000. And she knew no way of getting the money and was in despair. And Florence told her, God is her supply, and there is a supply for every demand. So she spoke the word, and she gave thanks, Florence did, that the woman will receive the money. And let's just say, it came through. So to take away, make this a quick video, you gotta speak the word. If you want something, you gotta speak the word. I have been so upset over stuff. I can't even play affirmations. Because I actually like Louise Hay's affirmations. Louise is a student of sorts of Florence. They go back. Louise really loves the teachings of Florence Scovel Shinn. So Louise's affirmations, I feel like, fit my Florence vibe quite a lot. And I'll share one of her affirmations with you at the end of the video, but I can't even listen to it. And I can't even explain what it is that I want. I just know I'm so upset. And I just know I'm so uneasy and stuff. I've fallen back into the carnal mind. If you watch my last video. But I will say that this is the lesson, which is to get something, you gotta know what it is that you want. You gotta speak that word. It's not just gonna be fixed. You have to speak the word, speak it. Speak the word. And then the universe can go to work for you. And so you gotta know what it is that you want. Focusing on what you don't want is not the same thing. Focus on just being scared and upset and freaking out and bursting into tears. That's not the same thing. Knowing what it is that you want so you can speak the word is an incredibly important thing. And you, whatever you're going through, whatever I'm going through, God is the supply, not people. God is the supply, and there's a supply for every demand, and you can unleash it if you speak the word. So if you're so upset you can't even say anything nice, if you're so upset, you just can't, you just can't with it. You gotta say the word, speak the word. Florence says in chapter 1, to go back to chapter 1, that we are the first mover. We gotta ask in order to receive. We gotta give in order to get. We gotta knock in order for the door to open. So just think of it as the universe, the powers that be, God, everyone, is just looking at you, waiting for you to speak that word, for them to unleash everything for you. So speak that word. Remember that you're that first mover. And another great quote from Florence is that there is always plenty on your pathway. You can feel like scarcity is everywhere, but there's always plenty on your pathway, but it can only be released by the power of your spoken word, which is the name of one of her other books, The Power of the Spoken Word. But yeah, you gotta, as they say, you gotta name it to claim it. You gotta speak that word, knowing what you don't want. It's not the same as what you do want. So if you want something from me, go sit down, journal, figure out what it is that you do want, speak the word over it, and then allow it to happen. Like, don't resist and stuff. But yeah, I will now share some affirmations by the great Louise Hay. She's the founder of Hay House, where so many spiritual books are published. Tragic story. I only found out about her on the day she left the earth, because that was the day that the company Hay House released her video to the public. It's not You Can Heal Your Life, it was something else, for free. And everyone, like, they're like, you should learn about Louise's legacy, you should learn about who Louise is. I'm like, sure, I'll learn. So the day we lost her was the day I found out about her. And the reason why I know that she really likes Florence Scovel Shinn is because Florence published three, four books in her time, self-published. And so after Florence left us, she had a manuscript, and the people who kind of fixed up her estate, they're like, okay, this book should be published. And it's like, who's gonna get it? And they sent it to Louise Hay so that Hay House could publish it. And so when you buy the book from Hay House, you will actually have an introduction from Louise Hay, where she explains what it meant to get this book and what Florence has meant to her. And yeah. And so that's where I read the connection there. And that book that Louise published is called The Magic Path of Intuition. And so, yeah. It's Louise Hay, great. She's a legend in her own right. Anyway, so here's the video, and as always, I thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.